Hey everybody, it's the Doctor here with Typical Manga Fan, and this episode of the Typical Manga Review is going to be focused on Akame got killed, chapter 65, Kill Your Little Sister, whereas last chapter I think was simply Kill Your Sister. That means next week's going to be Kill Your Big Sister, but we'll see. And we open up on our everybody's favorite character, Wave. Fortunately, he's only here for about 2 pages worrying about Kurome, and then we can just brush him off.
Showing that he's shown no character development. Yeah, let's do this. Anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Speaking of development, though, we're in an underground section of the Imperial capital. We're seeing Kuromi's assassin squad. They've been put to sleep and are apparently being brainwashed. Betraying the Empire is unforgivable, and betraying the Empire during the war will be met with agonizing torture. So, with that in mind, we come out to Akame and Kurome.
I just want to point. This only shows how idiotic even more the way. Like, how, this shit is happening. How's he okay with this? Like, I don't.
He may not know about this specifically, but it still does not excuse him.
I know, it's just like the more it's showing us, the more that we just like how this guy's so stupid. Even if he doesn't know, it's just the feeling of this is happening and he's letting this go under his nose. It's just like how dumb, how naive can you possibly be?
Yep.
Anyway, so let's go on.
I said moving in the actual moving on to Akame and Kurome. They were meeting in a I think a training area that they were supposed to have frequented.
Yeah, I think something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kurome pretty much immediately notices that there's people other than Akame there, but Akame assures her that they're tailing her, but they'll only interfere if somebody else does. Like they'll keep this between them. Yeah.
Yeah. So if Wave comes in, I'm hoping that's where they'll take care of him. You know. Yep. He might go berserk if Kurome dies. He will go berserk if Kurome dies. So hopefully that they find a way to not make it really annoying. You know. You killed Kurome. Blah blah blah. If he kills Leon, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna talk.
That would get just terrible if it happened. But
I'll be so pissed if that happens. Yeah, if he kills someone just because of that.
And their initial interaction is actually very amicable. Like Kurome is actually offering her a candy and she takes it, while Tatsumi and Leon just kind of listen in on things, or at least are watching things. Like Tatsumi notices this fact as well. Like their relationship is such that you wouldn't never guess they were enemies and that from how they talk and from the fact that they actually do appear to trust one another. So they have a talk for a little while. When we would meet. Yeah, this takes me back when we would meet back up. We'd always come here to train, so they used to be inseparable. So being together made everything worthwhile back there. And Kurome suggestively, while holding her undead making sword, says they can stay together from here on out. Akame suggests, that's fine, as long as we can go back to the way things used to be. Or, if you come with me, things go back to the way they used to be. I misread that, sorry. Yeah.
So basically, I mean, just to sum up everything they say, Kurome just said, look, I have the part of me that loves you and the part of me that can't forgive you, and they're clashing, and it's going round and round in my head, and I just want to basically kill you and let only me kill you.
Yeah.
And
she's having kind of a bit of a crazy outburst there, and just conflicted around the fact that as much as she loves Akame, she cannot forgive her for her betrayal. Which may well be that brainwashing kicking in.
Possibly, we'll see. Because you point out that there was a special reason for there has to be a special reason showing that, right?
The law of conservation of detail. I've quoted it before. If something happens in a story, there has to be a reason for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've always just wondered, she's always been, I've always thought that with the drugs, because, but I guess maybe something more, I don't know, but in the end, this has to be done, and so they talk about, they just talk about, restoring honor, and all that stuff, Kurome wants to restore Akame's honor, and so they start fighting, and,
Yep. And, Akame is thinking to herself that everything is just like Kurome said. From the moment she dedicated herself to all this, Akame should have been prepared for this very moment, having to fight her. And he notes that holding on to lingering attachments in the middle of battle can affect even Esdeath herself.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Kurome announced that she took a very powerful version of the enhancement drug that they use, so she won't have the luxury of being able to hold back.
Yeah. So then after that, Akame's like, okay, I gotta do this. So she uses the cheese on.
Before you start on here, Akame points out that if she gives Kurome one last chance, if you want to stand down, now's the time to speak up. Otherwise, I will bury you. Which Kurome knows is her trigger.
Yeah.
And now they actually start fighting for real.
Yeah, because bury the word. But yeah. So she tries to use a 1/sure kill technique and push her Tegu to its limit.
Yeah, meanwhile, she notes that Kurome is not using her sword's power yet. And like and it's actually a pretty even fight, if not in Kurome's favor because of her drugs. Because Akame is definitely feeling it. I'm mixing their names up. Do you find yourself doing that? Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like Kurome seems to be like definitely has the advantage because she's actually grazing Akame with her attacks, which makes it very fortunate she does not have the insta-kill sword.
Yeah.
And here's where she starts using like the Ichizan Hisatsu that you were talking about.
Yeah. So anyway, let me see. I think that's when Kurome starts attacking with her.
With her Tegu and her zombies.
Yeah, her Tegu. Yeah, the zombies disturbing dude. So yeah, Akame kills them, and she's like, "Rest in peace."
Yeah, and Kurome's. I don't know if this is Kurome or Akame thinking this, but she's noticing that they're noticing that one body's already in shambles from being summoned in so many battles, and the woman with the guns, her hands were grafted on from some random corpse, so she can't even have her original power. I guess that's Akame thinking about it because she doesn't recognize the woman, where Kurome would probably.
Yeah. Now she says, "I'll bury you again."
Yeah.
And then there's some slashing going on, basically deflect some attacks, and then she tries to go in for the final kill, but it's blocked by by Radin, who was that's assistant.
Yeah, the wingman from the Jaegers.
Yeah, and they build this up because she didn't give him the order, meaning that Radin of his own volition protected her.
Yeah.
I really can't. I don't feel anything. Like,
yeah. Well,
these guys. Yeah, it's like seeing two Nazis care about each other. I don't care.
Well, Radin was at least decent.
Still, you're fighting for a bad organization.
Well, I think for Rand, the organization was secondary. He wanted revenge.
Yeah. Against who again? I don't remember.
The pedo clown from the Wild Hunt.
Okay.
Anyway,
but again, he's still protecting Kurome, and it's just like, again, I just don't feel they're doing this whole friendship thing, and oh look, she's human too. Again, I don't care. Kurome has just done too much for me to really care. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I have a little sympathy for her, or at least pity maybe, but not enough to at least not want to see her. Not so much I would care if she died. But at this point, Kurome realizes that Akame pretty much goaded her. Like she tricked her into activating Yatsufusa too soon, so which gave Akame the chance to take out all of her zombies beforehand, or quickly.
Yeah. And so that means that Kurome has to fight her with her own skills, and yeah, that's how the chapter ends.
Yep, like I said, and so it seems like it's going to be pure swordsmanship at this point. I don't know if the drugs are going to kick in against Kurome, like they're going to backlash on her. Because I think we can pretty much assure ourselves that she's not walking away from this.
You know, I don't know how I feel because in the anime, they both kill each other.
They actually
So I don't know how this is going to end. If this is going to end the same way. Waves unfortunately survives in the anime.
Damn.
He still supports the Empire, by the way. Except it's like the new like that's the thing. Wave had no. It was bad, but I just hope that Wave doesn't come in, sees Kurome dying, and goes berserk and kills like either Akame or Leon if Akame's gone or something.
Yeah, because we passed around a few theories about this on Twitter. I know that one thing I brought up was Wave possibly like going crazy and becoming even more firmly loyal just in a moment of insanity on here. Like I was thinking, it might. I was wondering what would happen if the guy that Wave admires from the Navy or military, the one that inspired him to join in the first place, actually turns out to be on the rebels' side.
Yeah, we don't have proof of that, right?
That's purely my theory.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was just a theory, right? Because I was just like, because I remember he had no name. I was just thinking so. But yeah, it would have been great. It would have been really cool to have to see like there's another guy who he idolized be a traitor. But I feel like if that's the case, we would have seen him before, you know? Because unless he's like just like there's no way he could just be a grunt, right?
Right. Well, like I said, he could well be a grunt. I don't know. We don't know if he's an officer or what. But I wonder though, like if Wave won't realize it's at least too far to go back. I mean, he kind of already is to some degree, but not as it is, he could still potentially like learn for his change and walk away.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Wave will never side with the rebels, but at the same time, it's kind of like, well, just don't be neutral then. Don't help the Empire at least, because that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, there's one thing to not help the rebels. It's an entirely different thing to actually help the Empire.
Right.
I mean, again, is this Star Wars all about like this one guy growing up in the Empire and then deciding to go against it? Like, this freaking Star Wars got you on you, right?
Well,
supposedly, that's
not,
the synopsis.
Depends on who you mean. And you mean Force Awakens?
Yeah, Force Awakens.
Okay, for a minute I thought you were thinking about the original trilogies.
No, I'm talking about Force Awakens.
Because I know Luke wanted to enlist, and he fell in with the rebels.
Yeah, I should be specifically saying in the Force Order. That's the new Empire. But yeah, I mean, like that's. I mean, I just feel like.
In the expanded universe, Han Solo was an Imperial soldier before he got himself cashiered for helping Chewbacca.
I just feel that the authors is dragging Wave's thing out a little too long for me to feel. I feel like, again, I feel like at this point Wave either goes the right direction or we just kill him off, because I swear to gosh, he's not even a villain that I like hating. You know what I'm saying? It's just no. I cannot tolerate his existence because of his sheer stupidity. You know?
Yeah, like
at least
beyond
you're smart.
Yeah.
So kind of smarter.
Well, chances are, even with omniscience, he's going to be doing something stupid down the line. But yeah, you're right. Really, he has not been. Whether he's smart or not, he has not been stupid.
Yeah. So Wave is just, again, like, he's just so much like Suzaku, and I had such a problem with Suzaku in Code Geass that it was just, I wanted Suzaku to die because I just couldn't stand him. It's the same thing with Wave, except Wave actually makes Suzaku look smart. Because Suzaku eventually gets it, you know?
Yeah, and eventually, like, kind of comes into the right side there.
Yeah, well, they have a neutral side. It's weird, but yeah, basically the right side. Wave, I don't know where they're going with him. In the anime, he never switches. It just so happens that the Empire he serves becomes good again. So it's kind of like, well, that's not really that's just like, that's not him though. He has to be able to go against.
It's like he's loyal to the country regardless of who rules it.
Yeah, so it's just we just got lucky that the Empire is good again. But in what if it's never good again? You know, and he's all about changing it. And how can you change all this? How can that? I just don't. Yeah. Yeah,
like I said, but I said, as far as that goes, like I said, the fight itself has been pretty good though. Like the actual Kuromi Akame fight, like I said, this one I can see taking a few chapters just because it's been pending for so long. Yeah. I mean, that one's, I can see this one kind of going for a while.
And a little one more hit at Bleach. We got a lot of slashing. Yeah.
Yeah, actual slashing, parrying, and tactics.
See, that's the thing though. Like, they have the big strikes. They have the my critical blow, blah blah blah. Like, that's the Tengu ability and all that. Mm-hmm. But even between that, we have slashing. So that way.
And I like the tactic, the fact that Akame got Kuromi to waste hers.
Yeah. So I mean, like, that's the thing though. Like, yes, shonen manga, and I don't know if this is seinen or shonen, but they all have the same framework of, you know, this is not my final form yet, blah 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 blah. But the main difference between this and Bleach and Attack on Titan and all that stuff is that everything else other than Bleach fills in with other stuff that can keep us entertained. You know, distracted from the whole big thing. You know, the whole my critical blow. Yep. It distracts us. It makes us into the actual fight. It makes us more realistic. With Bleach, they just stand there. And can you imagine that they're just standing there and like one slash? I mean, hell, Akame's is just one slash. All she needs is one slash, and yet they somehow make it so that she has to do more than that. You know?
Yep.
So yeah. Actually, isn't she like that Roy Guard guy that has that one head slash two or something? That strongest Zanpakuto ever.
I legitimately forget.
Yeah, that.
I know which one you mean. I know which one you mean.
Yeah.
The hip hop swordsman. I just forget what his power was.
Yeah, it wasn't like one hit strike or something. Because he couldn't even have a sheath for it.
Like I said, I legitimately forgot.
Yeah, but I feel like it's like that. So it's kind of like, well, now you see how two people with similar abilities, at least, are treated in two different manga. You know, this one's clearly more entertaining than the other. You know. Mm-hmm. So, anyway.
Yeah, like I said, at the very least, this was a good chapter though overall. At least I liked it there. Like I said, very little wave, always a plus. And then we got the start of what promises to be hopefully a very good fight here.
Yeah.
Right. So like I said, that's been our review of Akame Got Killed 65. Kill Your Little Sister. Like I said, I fully expect next week to be something like Kill Your Big Sister or something, but we'll see about that next month. Meantime, take us away.
Bye.